Welcome to Bible in a Year, day 266. Today we read Esther 1 through 5. The book of Esther never mentions God's name, yet God clearly orchestrates all of its events. Esther, a Jew, is living among the exiles in Persia and becomes queen of the empire around 480 BC. Haman, a Persian official, sought to eradicate the Jewish minority, but God had prepared Esther for such a time as this to save his covenant people. The book was written decades later to document the origins of the Jewish observance of Purim, which celebrates Israel's survival and God's faithfulness. The author is unknown, but some think it could have been Esther's cousin Mordecai, a key character in the book. Throughout the book, we see God's sovereign hand preserving his people, showing that everything is under his control. In chapter 1, we meet King of Persia Ahasuerus, who has his eyes and those serving him fixed on wealth, godlessness, and lots of drunkenness. During one of his drunken stupors, the king orders his queen, Vashti, to come and show off her beauty before him and the people. The king is furious when she refuses and makes an example of her and to all the other women in the kingdom by banishing her from his sight and sets out for a replacement. In chapter 2, Esther is chosen to become the new queen. She is an orphan who is being raised by her cousin Mordecai. Mordecai is the descendant of Jews that were exiled to Babylon more than a century earlier. Her Jewish identity was hidden, and the king found favor with her, as did everyone who saw her. At the end of chapter 2, Mordecai learns that two men are plotting to kill the king, and in verses 22 and 23, he told it to Queen Esther, and Esther told the king in the name of Mordecai. When the affair was investigated and found to be true, the men were both hanged in the gallows. Chapter 3, King Ahasuerus promotes a Canaanite descendant named Haman to head official. All the people gathered at the king's gate and bowed down to Haman, with the exception of Mordecai. Haman was furious and set out to extinguish all the Jews in the land. Haman approaches King Ahasuerus and said, "There is a certain people dispersed among the peoples in all the provinces of your kingdom. Their laws are different from those of every other people, and they do not keep the king's laws. So it is not to the king's profit to tolerate them. If it pleases the king, let it be decreed that they be destroyed." And the king agrees. Letters were sent by couriers to all the king's provinces with instructions to destroy, to kill, and to annihilate all Jews, young and old, women and children, in one day. Mordecai gets word of this to Queen Esther. She gets word back to him that she will be killed if she enters the king's presence without being requested, and Mordecai sends this response to Queen Esther, his Jewish cousin. Chapter 4, verses 13 through 14. "Do not think to yourself that in the king's palace you will escape any more than all of the other Jews. For if you keep silent at this time, relief and deliverance will rise for the Jews from another place, but you and your father's house will perish. And who knows whether you have not come to the kingdom for such a time as this?" Then Esther told them to reply to Mordecai, "Go, gather all the Jews, and hold a fast on my behalf for 3 days. I and my young women will also fast as you do. Then I will go to the king, though it is against the law, and if I perish, I perish. Mordecai then went away and did everything as Esther had ordered him. In chapter 5, the Jews and Esther's fasts and prayers were answered. When the king saw her uninvited in his courts, he accepted her and said, "What is it, Queen Esther? What is your request? It shall be given to you, even to half of my kingdom." And Esther responds, "If I have found favor in the sight of the king, and if it please the king to grant my wish and fulfill my request, let the king and Haman come to the feast that I will prepare for them, and tomorrow I will do as the king has said." Haman, full of arrogance and pride, is excited to meet with the king and the queen, and here is his reaction. "Even Queen Esther, let no one but me come with the king to the feast she has prepared, and tomorrow also I am invited by her together with the king. Yet all this is worth nothing to me so long as I see Mordecai the Jew sitting at the king's gate." Then his wife and all his friends said to him, "Let a gallows 50 cubits high be made, and in the morning tell the king to have Mordecai hanged upon it. Then go joyfully with the king to the feast." This idea pleased Haman, and he had the gallows made. You'll have to wait until tomorrow to see what happens as we read the rest of the book of Esther. Have a blessed day.